The brain is the most complex structure in your body and one of the least understood. It's also a fascinating topic for scientists, who are constantly discovering new things about it. This article will cover some of these secrets that most people don't know about their own brains and how they work. So let's get started. The brain is the most complex organ in the body, and it's responsible for everything from breathing to walking. But there are some things about your head that you may not know. We use only 10% of our brains for conscious thought. The other 90% is used for unconscious thought. The brain is so complex that scientists have found it difficult to fully understand how it works. They have only been able to observe its effects on behavior and not its cause. The fact that the brain does not have pain receptors is one of the most fascinating things about our brains. For example, if someone were to poke you in your head with a sharp stick, you would probably feel nothing at all. The reason for this is because the brain is located inside an enclosed space called the skull. The outer layer of this enclosure is called meninges, which are two layers of membranes that surround it and protect it from injury and infection. The speed at which neurons fire is one of the most fascinating things about them. This is because it's not just about the speed of an individual neuron, but rather how well you can amplify their signal with other neurons. For example, if you have a road trip with your friends and they want to stop for some food, but you don't want to spend too much time in one place because there might be something interesting happening elsewhere, you could use your phone app as a way to coordinate where everyone goes next based on where they are now. If one person is walking down a street while another person's car drives past him, then that person may be able to tell which direction he needs to go in order for everyone else, including himself, not get lost along their journey home. The human brain has the largest number of neurons in any known organ, but most of these are not connected to the eyes directly. Instead, they're connected to other neurons, and this is true even for your own neurons. The brain plasticity that allows us to learn new things throughout life is vaster than previously thought. When you were learning how to ride a bike or play an instrument or speak another language, your brain was reorganizing itself in response. When you first started using Google Translate on your phone, it wasn't translating everything perfectly, and if it did translate something perfectly, then we would all be dead. This type of reorganization occurs across all mammals and even across species. It's just called brain plasticity, because it's something that happens when there isn't enough time between two events for an effect from one event alone, or its effects completely change how our brains function over time. Quote, "The brain is not static, but rather changes throughout life. It's a key component of brain function and has the ability to reorganize itself in response to experience. This is called plasticity, or the ability of the brain to change its structure and function based on learning or experience. This plasticity allows us to learn new skills and memories by forming new neural connections between neurons, nerve cells. So what's next? First, we need better tests of the plasticity of our brains. Second, we should finally start talking about how we can develop drugs that target brain cells and change their behavior. Third, we need to understand how these changes in individual neurons are related to changes in consciousness or perception. And fourth, scientists must work on figuring out just how much intelligence is actually involved in making the right decision or solving a problem. Maybe there's more going on than just cognitive ability being tested here.